Hey, Dream Whiskies fans, good to see you. Today is the 13th of December. That's a lucky 13 for you guys. It is midday UK time. I just want to point out it's midday UK time. So if you're watching this later on, I know a lot of you put in comments later on and I don't answer them, and that's because it's not live at that point. But midday UK time. Good to see you all. And the 13th, which means that we are more than halfway through our Advent calendar broadcasts. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas, which is exciting. Hopefully it's exciting for you. It's exciting for us here. Who have we got with us this morning? We've got Jeremiah, of course. Great to see you. Paul, it's excellent to see you on. You're on every day. We love that. Alan as well. And Barry, who is not here. We know you're not here, Barry. We'll never drop you in it. So we've got a few things for you today. Just to be upfront in advance, you're going to need a pen and paper. So I'm going to chat for a little bit to give you an opportunity to get a pen and paper, because we have a question for you later which relates to a code, because today we're giving away some more bonus entries into our main Highland Park competition. So make sure you grab a pen and paper, because you're going to need to write some stuff down. Who else have we got with us? Peter, first time you met, you've done it. Great, you're here live, fantastic. And Lorraine, excellent to see you. Hugh as well. John, what's this? Rise and Shine in Illinois. Thank you for joining us. And also Anna in South Texas. Fabulous. Great to see you all. So a couple of announcements for you. As you know, I've been giving you some information about offers that are online. So today, masterofmalt.com have a flash sale going on, and there's up to 50% off a range of products. Some of them are actually quite expensive, others are not too expensive, but I thought I would give you the link. So I've put the link in our description. So after our broadcast, click on that, see what they got. You might find something you really like. I got to say, if you're in the market for some of those super expensive whiskies, they've got hundreds of pounds off of those. And if you're not at that end of the scale, they've got some more reasonable whiskies there, again, with really good discounts. And not just whiskies, actually, so some gins and some other bits and pieces. So go and check them out. Like I say, I put the link in the description. The other thing I want to let you know about is that Richie Ward, he's one of our fans. Richie has spotted an offer at Asda, so this is really for people in the UK. But there's a blend your own whiskey kit for £25, which sounds pretty good, I think. So that offer is going on at Asda. He's put a post on the Facebook page. So go to our post section. On the right-hand side, you'll find visitors post, so you'll find his post there. Great. Okay, who else is with us? Who have we got? Bruce, brilliant to see you. Menno, thank you for joining us. Kevin and Gary, hi to all of you. I'm going to be making another cocktail, which hopefully you're pleased about. You're going to need to write down the ingredients, because at the end of this broadcast, I'm going to ask you a question, and the answer to that question is a code that you can put the answer into our main Highland Park competition and get yourself another 10 bonus entries for that. So get yourself a little pen and paper so that you can write it down. This is a pretty good cocktail, actually. It's one that I'm really proud of. It's based on a whiskey pineapple sour, and this is my take on a whiskey pineapple sour. So if you've had a whiskey sour before, you know it's a sour cocktail. The whiskey pineapple sour is not so sour, really. It's got a bit of sharpness in there, but there's a fair amount of sweetness in there too. And this particular recipe is one that I absolutely love. Made it for my family about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's stayed as a real big favorite ever since. So I'm really happy to share it with you guys. So I'm going to be using this glass, which I'm just going to pop over there for a moment. And as ever, I'm going to get my shaker out. So I'm taking the glass part of my shaker. And the first thing we're going to add, of course, is the whiskey. By the way, Manda, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. So you've seen me use this before. This is Cardew Gold Reserve. And I use this quite often in cocktails because it's got this sort of baked apple and toffee notes, which is just fabulous for blending in cocktails. Now, Bruce, this is for you in particular, Bruce. Bruce has said often I don't show the bottles properly, so I'm going to try and make sure you can see exactly what I got by holding them up. So here we go. there it is, Kaju Gold Reserve, and that's our first ingredient. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 35 ml of the whiskey. So let me just measure that out. That's about 35 ml. Good. So obviously that's our base because we dream whiskeys and our cocktails are all whiskey based. Now, the next thing that I'm going to add is a banana liqueur. I'm using this one. It's from a company called Giffard, but there's loads of companies that make this. Marie Brizard make it, and but there's hundreds of them really. So you can go out there and you can get whatever banana liqueur you want. But this one is one that I really enjoy because it's got a good level of sweetness without being over sweet. But an intense banana delivery, so it's a great one for this cocktail. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 20 ml, let me just check I get that right, about 20 ml of that banana to the whiskey. Let's see if anyone has joined us. Who have we got? Barry, where does the code go in the video link? Right, okay, so Barry, I'm going to update the game page after this broadcast. So you'll be able to go to the game page, give me about 2 minutes after the broadcast and you will see it change and it'll be clear. It'll say enter your code here. Mark, getting your twins involved today. How old are your twins? Hopefully your twins are old enough to drink. If not, well, yeah, why not? Let's get them involved. Bruce, big thumbs up. Yeah, I'm going to do the job. Menno, what were you saying? Oh, thanks. You put the link there for, yeah, brilliant. Thank you for helping out there. All right, so we've got our first two ingredients in here. The next thing we want to do is to add pineapple juice because this is a whiskey pineapple sour. So I'm going to put in 75 ml of pineapple juice. So here we go, all the way to the top. That's 50. And then another 25. That's good. Now, I suppose what I should be saying to you, I'm not sure if I've already said it, actually. I can't remember what I've said. But you need to be writing down these ingredients. So sorry if I haven't said that. You need to be writing down whiskey, banana liqueur, and now pineapple juice, okay? Whiskey, banana liqueur, pineapple juice. Get those written down. Now we go to our fourth ingredient in this cocktail. And because it's a sour, it does need some citrus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half a lemon, which I've already cut here. Here's the lemon. Just going to pop that into my squeezer, and I'm going to give that a squeeze out. And actually, it turns out that this lemon that I'm using is a little bit dry, but it's okay. I'm getting enough juice out of there. It's around about 15 to 20 ml of lemon juice. So ingredient 4, write that down, lemon juice. So we are nearly there for our shake, but not quite. I'm now going to add some of these. These are lemon bitters. Now, I've used bitters quite a bit in my cocktails, but the reason why I put bitters in is that it's not because they are particularly bitter, although they do obviously have a bitter edge, but because they really deliver on the flavor and massively on the aroma. So these lemon ones, you can buy them online. They're really easy to get. Just search for them, Google them, and this one I think costs about £6, something like that. But for £6, this will last you about 20 years, to be quite frank. They just go on forever. So I'm going to put in 3 big dashes of the lemon bitter. So 1, 2, 3. And you'll see that when I put in a dash, they sort of splash all over the place. But it's those 3 motions that enable me to measure exactly how much I want. Finally, oh, by the way, that's another one, right? Another ingredient for you to write down, lemon bitters. So finally, I'm going to go to this. It's my nearly empty jar of maraschino cherries. And I want some of the juice from there. So I'm just going to take my bar spoon, which is equivalent to about 5 ml, really. And I'm going to drop in that 5 ml of syrup from the maraschino cherries. All right, we're good. Now we have all our ingredients in there. Before I add some ice, I just want to say a quick hi to Sheila. Thank you very much for joining us as well. So I'm going to put some ice into my glass. Here, let's go into my ice chest. And just get a nice scoop of ice. There we go. And then I'm going to take my can, put it on top of my shaker and close it up. Remember, if you're using the hacks that we did from our video about 2 or 3 days ago, then at this point you'd have a glass full of ice and an empty glass, and you're going to be throwing it backwards and forwards to make it work. But if you've got a shaker, then now we close up the shaker. Going to give it a really good shake for about 5 seconds. Here we go. And we're done. Going to open that up. Let's pop that to the side. Going to get my strainer. Let's move the glass in nice and close to you, and I'm going to pour. Here we go. And that's looking good. And because we're using pineapple juice, the pineapple juice sort of creates a little bit of froth and a bit of head on the drink. Let's put a little bit more in there. Can we empty that out? Let's get some more of that froth out, which is rather nice because it gives you something nice and foamy to drink from. Now, I haven't quite finished this drink. There is one more ingredient, and the final ingredient is this. This is a cherry syrup. So there's no alcohol in it. It's a cherry flavored syrup. Obviously, I bought this bottle, but you can make this yourself. You can make it by taking a pan, and in the pan you put equal amounts of water and sugar. So I would say something like 500 ml of water and 500 grams of sugar. And then you heat that until it is melted. So all the sugar is dissolved and it becomes clear. At that point, you need to throw in some cherries. Now, what I would recommend, if you're going to make this yourself, is that rather than use fresh cherries, get a can of cherries, the sort of cherries that you would use to put into, I don't know, a cherry cake or something like that. Get a can of those. They're already sweetened to a degree. Pop them into the sugar and then let it simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. And I mean, just simmer, just bubble. Take the whole lot off the stove. Strain the cherries away and allow it to cool, and then you will have your own cherry syrup. Or if you're lazy like me, just go and buy something like this online. So what I'm going to do with the cherry syrup is I'm just going to pour a little bit, I suppose it's going to be around about 10 to 15 ml, right through the center of the drink, because what I want to do is I want to create a little red cherry base to the cocktail. And the reason we do this is twofold. One is it looks pretty. But the other reason we do it is that the experience of drinking this, as you get to the bottom, that last shot that you have is a big hit of sweetness and cherry. It's a wonderful way to finish the drink. Although I have to say that some of my kids, and by the way, they're not kids, they're adults, but some of my kids, when they get it, they just stir the whole thing up altogether. Who else have we got here? Jonathan finally caught us live. Great to see you here. Mary Ellen, thank you for joining us as well. So that's our cocktail. That is our whiskey pineapple sour. And when I finally go to deliver this and serve it up at the table, what I also like to do is I like to garnish it with a cherry or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a cherry out of, there we go. Can you see that? I took a cherry out. I'm just putting it onto a cocktail stick. I'm actually going to take a second cherry out of my jar, and I'm going to put that on the cocktail stick, and then I'm going to sit those across the top like so. And that's how I would serve it. That would be the garnish. All right, so that's done. In a second, I'm going to pose the question for you to develop your code that you can enter into the competition when we're done. Before we do that, I've got a couple of things that I want to A, ask you, and B, to tell you about. So the first one is, if you like what we're doing here, please share the post. I know a lot of you come along and that you enjoy it and you put likes, but if you could click on share, we would really appreciate that. It gets us out to a bigger audience, and the bigger our audience, the happier we are. And then the second thing is this, is that we are planning next year to launch something that we call Dream Whiskies TV. So we're going to call it DWTV. Essentially, we're going to do a little show once a week on our Patreon page. So I want to encourage you again to support us if you can, to help us sort of continue to give you all this cool stuff. And go along. I've put the link in the description. Check out our Patreon page. If you can support us, there's stuff that we're already doing for you there now, but also in about spring of next year, we're going to be launching these sort of once a week programs, which are going to be cocktails like this and cool stuff about whiskey, and probably some exclusive giveaways for people that are watching Dream Whiskies TV, interviews, all sorts of cool stuff. So please go and check it out after this broadcast. So here we go. This is what you need to do to get your 10 bonus entries for today. Take all the ingredients that we've put in here, which I'm actually going to repeat in a second, and I want you to take the first letter of the first word of each ingredient. So for example, if it's banana liqueur, then the first letter would just be the B from banana. And make sure that you put those letters in alphabetical order. So get all the first letters down, rearrange them in alphabetical order, and that is your code. Just to be clear, for the Kaju single malt whiskey, it's the C that we're looking for. But everything else, this is what we had, just so that you remember. We got Kaju single malt whiskey. We've got banana liqueur. We've got pineapple juice. We've got lemon juice. We've got lemon bitters. We've got maraschino juice. We've got cherry syrup. Those are the letters that I want you to put into alphabetical order. I'm going to update the game page immediately after this broadcast, so just give us a minute or so, and then you can enter your code for those 10 bonus entries. They will only be there for 24 hours. So until the next broadcast, that's how long it's going to be there. Anybody else that's put some comments? Nicole, that looks amazing. Yeah, honestly, Nicole, it is fantastic. You've got to give it a go. Mark, yeah, you agree as well? Mene, do you have a funky, exotic name for the cocktail? Is it just a whiskey? Well, it is just a whiskey pineapple sour. This is our take on a whiskey pineapple sour. It's sort of more elaborate than the basic whiskey pineapple sour, but that's what we call it. Could this Bricky carry this in his, you're a Bricky John? Yeah, absolutely. For medicinal purposes, pop it in a flask. It'll be good for you all day. All right, everybody, look. Thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow's broadcast, so our 14th broadcast of this Advent calendar, is going to be at 4 p.m. UK time. So it's later tomorrow. 4 p.m. UK time, which I think over in the United States is something like about 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you're across Europe, hopefully you can work it out based on that. And if you're on the West Coast, you can work it out as well. But look, thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. I hope December the 13th is lucky for you. And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.